Hey, shalom, shalom. All right. Before I get started with this lesson today, I just want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rechakwadash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well, and peace and salutations unto the elect. All right. Now, in this lesson today, all right, Lord willing, the title of this lesson will be You Will Be Left Behind in Society. All right, again, you will be left behind in society. All right, and what made me want to come up with the title of this lesson today is this article here, all right, by the peoplesvoice.tv. All right, and as you can see, the title of this article reads Silicon Valley CEO warns humans who refuse brain chips will not survive coming human AI merger. All right, and this is what the wicked elite want. All right, they want to bring about a fifth industrial revolution. All right, where AI technology will be merged with humans. All right. So basically, the whole point of this is for the elites to control the people of the earth. All right, let's go down. It reads, human beings who refuse to allow Silicon Valley companies to implant a chip in their brain will be excluded from society. And that's exactly what Revelation 13, and 16 and 15 entails. That's what it speaks about. Revelation 13 and 16, and slack it, 15, 16, and 17. That's what it speaks about. Being excluded from society if you do not have, that mark or the CHIP. All right. It says, and will not survive the major transformation of the coming human AI merger, according to a Silicon Valley CEO. You see? So all you Israelites out there that mock and scoff are against the mark of the beast being the RFID chip, hey, guess what? The Heavenly Father blinded you to where you can't see that the mark of the beast is the RFID chip. All right, because really all the proof is in the pudding. All right. We just read it right here. All right, this is the ultimate plan, all right, of the wicked elite of Esau, Edom, the so-called white man today. All right, to bring about a fifth industrial revolution. All right, and if you don't get down with the fifth industrial revolution, guess what? You're going to be excluded from society, as it says here. Okay, so I got the TED Talk here. I'm not going to play it, but this is from Elder Yashwama. He went into it. This is the TED Talk. This is the dude that said this. It's a TED Talk. He said why humans should merge with AI. You see, so their plan is to move forward with this fifth industrial revolution. All right, Klaus Schwab, dubbed that title. Let's get it. All right, I searched up the fifth industrial revolution, and it says the fifth industrial revolution represents a shift from a purely digital and automated focus of industry 4.0 to a framework where advanced technologies like artificial intelligence and robotics collaborate harmoniously with humans. You see, so the binding, of AI technology, and humans together. That's the fifth industrial revolution, and with that, they will have complete control, over the people of the earth. All right, it's not about money anymore with the elites. All right, they want control over the people. They want to play God on the earth. All right, to where they know where people are, what people are doing, what they're thinking. He wants to know. This devil wants to know everything, about everybody on the earth. He want to play God on the earth. You see, he wants to control everybody. All right. So I'm gonna keep reading on this. It says, we'll see. Let's see if there's a little bit more. But I'm gonna keep reading. It says, someone you work with will get it first, and you'll hold out for a while, the way you did with the smartphone. But eventually, you won't. Hey man, these devils are proud. It said D. Scott Phoenix at TED, 2026, and I just showed you the picture, the video of it, that TED Talk. It says in Vancouver last month, the advantages of integration will be hard to compete with. So if you don't get this brain chip or this chip, you will be excluded from society. You'll be left behind. All right. So let's see, and it's not, well, we're gonna get into the prophecy, but let's see if I got anything else here at it. So I got that. All right, so let's get into the prophecy. Let's get Revelation 13 and verse 15. It reads, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast. All right, what is the image of the beast? The image of the beast, all right, is the going back into the ancient Roman Empire. All right, going into its its laws, its legislation, all right, its architecture. Basically the whole system of the Roman Empire. All right, that same system of the Roman Empire has been revived into America today. America today. All right, if you look at the American system, all right, and the Roman system, they both parallel each other. Okay, so the that same image of the beast, this beast system, has been revived, all right, into America today, and we're seeing the same system play out today, all right, with more advanced technology. Okay, it says, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. So if you don't bow down, all right, to the image, all right, the image of the beast, which is this American system, which goes back into ancient Rome, guess what? You're gonna be killed, and it's not just a killing physically. You go into this word "killed" here. All right, it's not just killing, physically, as we're going to get into. All right, should be killed in the Greek is I'm gonna let him say it.
Strong's G 615. Aparktino. Aparktino.
There you go, apoktaino. All right, outline of biblical usage: to kill in any way, whatever, to destroy, to allow to perish. All right, to inflict more death, all that. All right, yeah, you be killed, for not taking, all right, the mark of the beast, all right, or worshiping the image. And as it says in Revelation 14, those that were beheaded, all right, the men of the Lord that were beheaded. You see, but it's not just that. All right, if you go into the root word of apoktaino, all right, it says what? Of separation, of local separation, after verbs of motion, of from a place, i.e. of departing, of fleeing, the separation of a part from the whole. All right, you see, so you're going to be separated from society. All right, if you do not worship the image of the beast, but by taking his mark, you're going to be separated from society. You're not going to be able to buy and sell, all right, and use public services. All right, it's going to so they don't have to put a gun up to your head and threaten you, with death. All right, they can just manufacture a society around you to where you have to have this mark. All right, and it will make life incredibly hard to live. All right, if you don't have, all right, this mark of the beast. You see this, the CHIP, brain chips, or chips in your hand. You see, as the prophecy says. You see, so let's get verse 16. Verse 16, it reads, and he causeth all. Who is the he? All right, again, the beast, which is NATO in the EU, with America riding on top of that beast. All right, and guess what? They're all Edomite ruled kingdoms, okay, upon this earth. So really, you could say that he's speaking about the beast, all right, which is really, all right, the Edomites, the so-called white man. All right, starting with the elites. It reads, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond. You see, so whether you be great, all right, in the society, or small, or whether you be rich or whether you be poor in the society, whether you be free or in jail, guess what? Everybody's going to what? To receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. You see? All right, so he's going to cause everybody on the face of the earth, all right, to receive this mark. And as we always say here at Great Millstone, we always break this down, that this mark is the RFID chip, the CHIP. Look, all the proof is in the pudding, man. It says if you do not, it says Silicon Valley CEO warns humans who refuse brain chips will not survive coming human AI merger. All right. Again, human beings who refuse to allow Silicon Valley companies to implant a chip, that mark in their brain, will be excluded from society. So you're going to be killed. All right. In the sense of being separated from society, man. It says it will not survive major transformation. Right. They're going to consider you less than human if you're not enhanced with a so-called enhanced with a chip, or that mark of the beast. You're going to be considered a less than human, or 3/5 of a human. You see, you're not going to be considered a human at all. You're going to be considered you're going to be how should I say, it's like you're going to be considered a person using a flip phone in 2026. All right. So, let's go back. So it says, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. Verse 17, that no man might buy or sell. save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. So let's make this real clear. I'm gonna read this in the NLT. All right, I want to read this again. All right, to make it make sense for you, for those that are new to this, that don't know about this prophecy. Verse 17 NLT. It reads, "And no one could buy or sell anything without that mark." Again, that mark is the RFID chip. All right, so if you do not have that mark, you will not be able to buy and sell. You will be excluded from society, as we see here, as we see this damn devil is saying, man. No one could buy or sell anything without that mark, which was either the name of the beast or the number representing his name. You see? So if you do not have that mark, you will not be able to participate in society. You will be excluded from society. You won't buy and sell. But if you were to take that mark, guess what? You'll be able to buy and sell. All right, but guess what? You're going to face judgment by the hands of the Heavenly Father. All right, and His only begotten Son. All right? But the elect, they ain't going to take that mark. All right, let's go into this word mark here, as we always bring it out here at Great Millstone. All right, and that's, starting with the Apostle Tahar, all the apostles on down of Great Millstone, and all the apostles and elders of Great Millstone on down. We always speak on this topic, all right, of Revelation 13 and 16, what that mark is. We always speak on this. We always bring out, all right, this word mark here in the Greek. Okay, this word mark here in the Greek is charagma. All right, outline of biblical usage, a stamp, an imprinted mark. Of the mark stamped on the forehead and the right hand as a badge of the followers of the Antichrist, which there's not just one Antichrist. All right, there's many Antichrists. All right, there's many Antichrists, not just just one person that's going to be born into the earth. No, it's many. All right, if you're just against the anointed Yahweh Shai, you're an Antichrist. So if you're an atheist, you're an Antichrist. All right, if you teach the incorrect doctrine, you're an Antichrist. You see, or anti-Hamashiach. You see, it says the mark branded upon horses, thing carved, sculpture, graven work. You see, so if you were to have this mark, all right, it will show who you own, who you belong to, just like you brand upon horses, all right, to show who owns that horse. The same thing with this chip, all right, this mark. All right, if you were to have this mark upon you, it will show who you belong to. All right, it will show that you belong to the Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, starting with the elites. It will show that you belong to them, all right, and that you worship the image of the beast. You see, but that's something the elect are not going to do. They're not going to get this imprinted mark, all right, because they don't belong to Esau, Edom. They belong to the Heavenly Father. The elect belong to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, and they're not going to get that mark, all right. The elect will not bow down or worship the image of the beast. You see, but the rest will. All right, 2/3 of our people, they will. All the heathen, they will. You see? It says imprinted mark. So this, and it says a thing carved, sculpture, graven work. So this thing will have, this mark will literally have to be carved into your skin. All right, you think about, carving, carving into a pumpkin. What are you doing to that pumpkin? You're cutting into it. You see, you're cutting into it to administer that mark. The same thing, man. You're going to have to get cut into with the syringe, that Korox, to implant that mark. All right, let's get this root word Korox. All right, this is the root word of charagma, which is Korox, which was what? Outline of biblical usage, a pale or stake, a palisade or rampart. Pales between which earth, stone, trees, and timbers are heaped and packed together. You see, going down, it says, through the idea of scratching. Or it's like a strong definition. It says Korox, Karaso, to sharpen to a point. You see, so there would have to be an instrument, all right, to what? Penetrate the skin to implement this, charagma, all right, the mark of the beast. You see, and that's going to be the stake syringe, the sharp syringe they use to puncture the skin to implement that chip. You see, you look at a pales between which earth, stones and trees and timbers are heaped and packed together. You look at a stake, it's got a sharp point at the end, and you drive it into the earth. Okay. The same thing with the syringe used to implement that mark, to cut into your flesh, to put it in that mark. You see, that charagma. All right, so let's go into the root word, all right, of Korox, which is grapho. All right, outline of biblical usage. It says to write with reference to the form of letters, to delineate or form letters on a tablet, parchment paper, or other material, to write with reference to the contents of the writing. All right, so this is going to be the information or the writing that's going to be in that chip. All right, everything is going to be on that chip. All right, your bank account, your wallet, your money. All right, your identity. All right, your medical history. All right, where you work at, what you do. All these things. All this information is going to be written on top of that chip. All right, and this is how the wicked elite will be able to control you. All right, because if you don't have this, guess what? You're going to be excluded from society. You're not going to even be considered a human being, a person. All right, if you don't have this CHIP, the mark. You see, everything's gonna be written on that chip. All information is gonna be written on there. So let's see if I just want to make sure I got everything covered, all bases. That was pretty much it. So going back, hey man, all the proof is in the pudding, man. You still have camps, that preach, that the mark of the beast is sin, and is sleeping with the white woman and all this, bunch of folly. Guess what? We really gonna see, in the latter days, who was telling the truth about this prophecy, man. All right, we gonna really see at the end, man. All right, all the proof is in the pudding. I'm showing you in this lesson, right in this article right here. Again, human beings who refuse to allow Silicon Valley companies to implant a chip in their brain will be excluded from society and will not survive the major transformation. It's not just going to be in your brain. It's going to be in your, as it says here, all right, in your right hand on their foreheads, in your head. So it's not just going to be in your brain. All right, it's going to be in your hand also. And the majority of the people are going to get it in their hand. All right, but you can have some that get it in their brain. You see? So it's going to be both. All right, prophecy don't lie. All right, so if you don't have this, guess what? You'll be excluded from society. You will not survive the major transformation. You're going to be X'd out. All right, you're going to be excluded from society. As it says here, man, it's so obvious. It's so plain. You see, but only those that have the spiritual eyes to see and the spiritual ears to hear will be able to understand it and to believe that this is it, man. All right, while the rest will be blinded. All right, and ultimately be caught up by this prophecy when it comes to pass, man. All right, but we're going to end it. I'm gonna end it off here. I'm gonna end it off in Revelation 3 and 10. We'll end it there. All right, it's Revelation 3 and verse 10. It reads, "Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth." All right, so this great hour of temptation, all right, is when Revelation 13 and 16 will be mandatorily implemented unto the whole world, where you would have to get it. All right. This is the great hour of temptation, the great hour of testing for the people of the earth. But guess what? The elect will pass this test. All right, because they kept the word of the Heavenly Father's patience by what? Suffering in His truth. All right, doing the works. All right, having faith in Yahweh Shemel Shai, even through the suffering and trials and tribulations. The elect are going to keep the word of the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son's patience. You see, so the Heavenly Father in return is going to keep them from the hour of temptation. You see, but all those that have been playing with this truth, really haven't understood what this, thing is about. They want to, have a Hebrew Israelite party all day, want to party all day and, eat chicken wings, go on podcasts and this podcast. You didn't want to change from your wicked ways. Guess what? You're not going to be kept from this hour of temptation. All right, because you didn't keep the word of the Lord's patience. He ain't going to keep you from the hour of temptation. You see, and you're going to be destroyed, all right, by Yahweh, by Shemel Shah, by them thermonuclear missiles, man. All right, as it goes into the judgment for taking that mark in Revelation, the 14th chapter. But hopefully, this lesson was edifying, all right, and straight to the point to you believers of the hopeful elect out there. But with that, I just want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachakwadash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well, and peace and salutations unto the elect. Shalom.